All right, I know this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing something that we haven't done before, but polar coordinates, which is what we're going to work on through this series of videos and lessons, are pretty straightforward. They're different from what we've done, but that doesn't mean that they have to be difficult. So if you need to use your calculator, here's what I want to show you. If you go to mode and you go down here to function, we have function, parametric, polar. That's what we will be working with. And also radian and degrees. In some of your lessons in just a little bit, you'll have to switch back and forth between radian and degree depending on what sort of information they give you to work with. Let's start with radian, and let's go and take a look at polar coordinates. All right. If I go to y equals now there's just an r. And what this is I want to know the measure of the radius. Just type in any number, like 3, and push graph. What it did, it looks like an oval, but this is actually a circle with a radius of 3. Okay, so let's go back to y equals, go down the next line, type in 5, graph. Another circle, this time the radius is 5. The point being that you've moved 5 units from the origin in every single direction. You've moved 5 units. Now this becomes different when we actually put an angle measure with the measure of the radius. And that's what you will start with in your exercises. I'm going to work some examples for you. I've included them in your packet, and I've included extra sheets of graphs for you to do your work on. This is a little bit different than our regular Cartesian coordinate system, but it's going to be okay. Take a look at that for just a minute. What I've done is I've copied these, and I've included both the degree measure and the radian measure, so that it doesn't matter which one of these you use, you'll have everything you need on all of them. All right, I'm going to work some of the odd problems and try to explain to you as we go along. First one says to graph the point R, 120 degrees. This means you're going to go 1 unit from the origin, and then you're going to travel in 120 degree direction. The easiest way is to do this backwards. Go to 120 degrees first, and then mark the 1. So that's what I did. A rotation of 120 degrees brought me to here, so I drew my ray. And now from the origin, on that ray, just go up 1 unit. See how these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. You may have to extend these a little bit on some of the problems and go past 4, or just change the numbers here, count by 2s if you want. But anyway, rotate 120 degrees, then move up 1 from the origin. Pretty straightforward. That's done. With radian measures and negatives. Again, you want to start with the angle of rotation. Rotate 2 pi over 3. Here's 2 pi over 3, so we rotate to there. Now our radius is showing to be a negative number. That means from the origin, instead of going up the ray 2 units, go down the ray 2 units, And what you have here is a line that extends in both directions. But go down the ray 2 units and mark your point. This is the point, -2, 2 pi over 3. Okay, so again, from where theta equals 0, rotate to 2 pi over 3, draw your line through that, and then from the origin go down 2. Okay. Number 5. These are from the book. Number 5, we want to start with our angle of rotation. This time it's negative. It's a negative angle of rotation. That means we're going to start here at the origin where theta is 0, and we're going to rotate downwards for 5 pi over 6. Well, if you'll look at the measures I've written, here's 5 pi over 6. It's 150 degrees. It's just 30 degrees from being 180. If I keep that in mind, then that's how I want to rotate, only going in the other direction. I'm going to rotate this way, all the way to the point where I'm 30 degrees away from 180. So here is -5 pi over 6. I have it marked here. Now that I've got that marked, I draw my ray, and I'm going to go 4 units in that direction. So a negative angle rotation means start at 0, go down. A negative radius means do your angle of rotation, then go in the opposite direction for your line segment and marking your point. Wow. Here's a double negative. I thought you couldn't have double negatives. That can't not be, right? Oh well. 5 pi over 3. It's a negative. Hey, this turns out to be not quite 2, so not quite a whole rotation. If you look here, here's 5 pi over 3. It's at 300 degrees, which means it's just 60 degrees away from 0. So when I rotate in the negative direction, I want to keep rotating until I'm again 60 degrees away from 0, and here we are. This would represent the angle -5 pi over 3. Now from the origin, I want to move a unit of 1, which would normally be up this way, but it's negative also. So I have to move down this way, put my dot. That's the answer. So we had a double negative there, and we found out, unlike in English, in math, you can do that. You can do a double negative. Oh well, I digress. Number 9. -4 pi. Remembering that pi is just 180 degrees. First we do our rotation. Now we're at pi. Then, if it were a +4, we would move 4 to here. But since it's -4, we move 4 in the opposite direction. And sometimes I've drawn a line like here. That's helpful if you have a negative measure for the radius, or radius going in the opposite direction. You don't have to. If you have a positive radius measure, then you can just go and draw a single ray. It wouldn't be wrong to go ahead and extend this all the way out to here. It's just not needful all the time. Okay, here we go again. -210 degrees, and 4.5 for the radius. So from here I'm going to rotate 210 degrees. That's just 180 plus 30. So here we go. I've rotated 210 degrees in the negative direction. And now from the origin, I'm going to go 4.5. See, my measures stopped at 4. So I have to go another half, put my point, and there it is. I want you to try these. I think you can do it. I've left you plenty of little graphs that you can do your work on. Like I said, you can change these scales here if you need to count by 2s or 3s, or you can extend them out, or you can add others in here. Whatever you need to do to make it work. I'm going to be patient with you, and I ask you to be patient with me as well, and we'll get through with it. By the way, miss you guys. Really do. Hope everything is going well. I'll see you again on the next video.